Hey everyone, number 75 on the list of my 100 greatest songs of all time is Step On by the Happy Mondays. There's very few songs that are just like bam and you're immediately cheered up or revitalized. And there's some songs that'll come down the line in this list that'll I'll say the same things about, but Step On has always been one of those ones since, I got to it was the Manchester era. It was like when guitar music met acid house, and it just seemed like everybody's having a great time. Turned out they weren't, but that's neither here nor there. But if people don't know, "Step On" is a song, as a cover of a song by John Congus. Sorry, he's a South African musician singer, and he released the song "He's Gonna Step on You Again" in 1971, and it was on his second album. But other people covered it, but it was the Happy Mondays that made it turn it into what it is. I was trying to figure this out, so it's like something like that. Something like that. And that's the opening of it. And I saw them in Slane in like 2000 or 2001, whatever year I went, and they were one of the support acts. And it was kind of bizarre to see them, even though it was, 10 years after maybe 12, 13 years after the song came out for them. But, they did look a little bit jaded. They'd done a lot of drugs. But it's funny to see a band like the Happy Mondays on stage, because the vocal or the point that you're looking, you cannot take your eyes off Bez. And he's just doing the maracas. And the maracas, you can't really hear them because they're not mic'd up. But he's having a great time, and that's the main thing. But Step On as something that broke into my consciousness was I saw the video, and they're performing it or miming to it on a roof in, I think it's somewhere in Spain, it could be Barcelona, in the sun, and they were drinking bottles of beer, and it looked like lovely, like everything they everything they presented at the time. It's such fun. Even the Kinky Afro video was like they were having a little like party in a studio, and everything was like, oh geez, these lads have a great time. But the song in itself is a beautiful reinterpretation of Who's Gonna Step on You, the John Congus song, because it does it brings in the drum beat, for one, the kind of shuffly drum beat that it has in it is more like a dance orientated song, turns it into one of those. It's got the female vocals in the background that are kind of gospel sounding, and they had that in Kinky Afro, and it was one of their traits, one of the Happy Mondays traits. Very efficient musicians in the band, and we always hear about that story of like they're going off to record their second album, maybe it's their third album, and they wanted to record it in Barbados, and they went off and they wanted money off the record company. The record company gave them money to go and record it, and they just spent it all on drugs. And then the record company closed down. They literally closed down a record company. And it's always saying that it's Sean Ryder and Bez, and obviously they were the kind of ringmasters, and it would have been the other boys as well, but they were the ones that are, the outspoken ones, the ones that are right in front of the stage and stuff. But like you see, coochie coochie yeah mama, I had to. That's not in the song actually. Hold on. I'm singing Kinky Afro, so I'm speaking a fool of myself. But obviously, like it's a cover of the other song, but it does add in their own stuff. The thing that followed them around, I think, was "You're Twisting My Melon Man." You talk so hip, man. You're twisting my melon, man. Call the cops, and then it kicks in. The guitars before you're going to stamp out your fire. He can change your desire. Don't you know he can make you forget you're a man? That like chunky distorted sound on the guitars coming in over the dance beat was at the time was like revolutionary, you know. And I think um, they do get the recognition, but like they were the ones. I know the Stone Roses were in around the Manchester scene as well, but the Stone Roses were working off a different idea than the Happy Mondays. Happy Mondays were more dance orientated than the Stone Roses, um, but you know they work off each other. And Your Twist of My Melon Man is one of those ones where it's like you're it's very hard to describe what because I heard the description of what it means, and it's like, oh man, you're freaking me out, or you're amazing me. And I when I first heard the lyric when I was quite young, I thought it was a bad thing, is what he was saying. Like, you know, you're twisting my melon, man, was something that was sounded quite painful. Don't ask me what I was thinking, what melon was. Um, please don't ask me. And but you know, it follows, if you talk so hip, man, you're twisting my melon. But then call the cops. This kind of comes out of nowhere. It's just so like the layers on the song are amazing, and I just can't, like, I just think it's an incredible song, and they do look really really cool on that rooftop. And when you're, so this came out in 1990 actually. So when you're 8 years old, maybe 9 years old when I saw it in MTV, like we were addicted to MTV at the time, I probably thought they were the coolest guys. But it wasn't like I didn't rush out to buy their albums. I was still like Nirvana, embedded in Nirvana and kind of heavier music. So it didn't really resonate with me as much then, but it stayed with me a little bit. And then as I grew older and my tastes expanded, and I was listening to more of the indie kind of music, I kind of could hear it in other songs, and I could hear it in bands, particularly that were coming out in the early 2000s. You could start to hear the reach back into Manchester, and you know, a yearning for it. Kind of when the Oasis thing died, the more dance orientated stuff came in with the guitars, and people were kind of, even if it was like, who was that band? The Claxons. Was it? You know, even that kind of idea of trying to mix, and it didn't work really with them, but like it worked so well with the Happy Mondays. But they were the pioneers of it, and I wish I'd really sat down and like learned that part. But I'm trying to. Some of the songs I'm trying to learn little bits, and other songs I'm just trying to talk about them, and it just depends on it. But like I don't know if it goes. Sounds right. No, it doesn't sound right. That's it. Cut my losses. Go listen to Step on the Happy Mondays. It'll make you, well, happy. Bad attempt at a pun. Thanks for watching. See you later.